For most athletes, what we need to do is we need to expand the scope of our thinking and go, how can I make you better, faster? And in most cases, that means not worrying so much about the, what I call speed constants, and instead focus a lot on speed variables. So speed variables revolve around these two things that we're going to talk about, perceptual reframing and contextual speed. Perceptual reframing, does everyone know what that is? Did you? This is a question I asked myself years ago, all right? Where did you learn about time? You guys remember back in your life, where did you learn about time?
Mom.
Long ago. What's that?
From Mom.
From Mom. And does anyone remember going to school and actually having, I don't know, probably kindergarten, first grade, where you get the clocks and they're like, okay, part of your test is, draw the hands. Do they still do that? They do? Okay.
No.
Yeah, I know, it's on your cell phone, right? Just digital. You got your 4-year-old checking his Apple Watch going, hey Mom, what time is it? But most of us we're raised with a concept of time, literally from birth. And unfortunately, well, you guys tell me, what is that concept of time? Everyone, we're taught basically, so years, we would go backward from years, day or months, days, weeks, days, hours, and what's this, minutes and seconds. So the smallest increment of time that we are kind of taught and expected to understand and actually build our lives around is seconds. Does that make sense? So we're actually taught to think in terms of seconds. Now, a second is a really, really long time in the world of sports. It's also a really long time in the world of, in any world. How many of life? How many of you guys have been in a near car accident recently? Anybody? One this morning?
Russell's Uber driver.
Okay. Russell's Uber driver. Awesome. Yeah. You were close to one or were in one? Okay, she said she was close to one, time really slowed down. That's kind of the stuff that I'm talking about. If you remember when you went through driver's ed and you're driving along on the freeway, apparently the rule that no one remembers is how many seconds do you need to have the car, how far in front of you does it need to be if you're driving 65 miles an hour? 6 seconds, right? Now everyone forgets that, right? Why do you need 6 seconds? Physics, all right? Because for you to see those brake lights slamming on, the hood coming, or not the hood, the back of the hood, the trunk lifting up, so you actually get that perceptual cue. You're like, oh crap, they just slammed on their brakes, something ran across the road. You're getting that in your head. Most of us have been driving a long time. As soon as we see those brake lights, what do? We get off our accelerator, we get on the brakes. But if we were texting or playing with the radio, right, that time frame goes down, and then you actually have to hit your brakes, and then physics takes over. And it takes a while for you to actually slow down this 2,500-pound beast that you're driving. And that's why so many people have to replace their cars every year, because people forget the basic rules. But the point is that, the reason I'm asking about that, does everyone recognize that you've been in an event where probably a half second to a quarter second later in your decision-making process, something bad could have happened? Yes or no? Right? So one of the first things that we have to start to get across to our athletes is that any single thing that we can do in training that saves you a millisecond or two can make an enormous difference in your ultimate outcome. Everyone gets that. But it's weird because we are not actually, most of us aren't trained to think in seconds. Click, 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 click. So getting people to move faster than that, to think faster than that, and to recognize that if I can see faster, decide faster, that allows me to act faster, milliseconds matter.
Rolling part 2.
We're actually moving isometric exercise. Let me shoot all that again. That's stupid. Okay. Moving isometric. What? Whew.
Ignore all
Awesome.
that.
Let's now you have some outtakes.
I think I might. With dignity.
What was I saying?
Still rolling. Ignore the laughing.